Time for a crypto market update, Monday, September 15th, 2025. I don't know if you feel it, but this is a really big week in the markets. And before I forget, I will be live streaming the Federal Reserve interest rate announcements, the press conference, on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. So if you're not a follower, make sure you follow and turn on your notifications and join me here on my profile at Investing Yall, Josh Rhodes. There's a lot of scammers out there, so this is your chance to make sure you're following the right one. Now, let's talk about your perspective on the market. Are you currently really zoomed in and wanting to know if we're going to pump and dump on Wednesday, or are you zoomed out with a more macro perspective? Because I'm here to tell you, there's nobody on this planet that knows if we're going to pump or dump immediately. As a matter of fact, it's going to be one of the most volatile weeks of the year, in my opinion. You could pump and then dump and then pump and then dump, and who knows? The trend, though, is your friend. Goldman Sachs is expecting 3 consecutive 25 basis points cuts, and that's completely in line with the CME FedWatch tool that you can Google right now and look for yourself. There is a small chance of a 50 basis point cut, but unlikely. Anything usually over an 85%, that's what's probably going to happen, because the market's basically telling Powell that he has license to do this. And yesterday, Sunday, September 14th, the CEO of the largest central exchange in the West simply posted this picture, this meme of himself leaning in on the video game to pay more close attention. This is something that other famous investors have done in the past. Only the famous investor Roaring Kitty, when he posted the same of him leaning in earlier in the bull cycle. Now, we've discussed interest rates before, and we've got to be really careful with our expectations. The thing I'm listening for more than 25 basis points versus 50 basis points is, will Powell signal with his rhetoric that he's going to cease quantitative tightening? I think the QT question is the bigger question here. It's kind of like when you walk out in the yard and you've got the water hose on and you kink the hose and the water doesn't really flow very well. That's been quantitative tightening during this entire bull market. That's right. Prices have gone up while the Federal Reserve has been selling securities on our heads. I'm looking for language from Powell to say, basically, we are going to cease the roll off of our Federal Reserve balance sheet. If that happens and they only do a quarter of a basis point cut like we're expecting, I would anticipate a massive influx of retail investors into the market because of the confluence of those two metrics. Because right now it's very clear retail investors and the majority of investing money is on the sideline. We have a record high of $7.4 trillion sitting in money market funds right now. And as the 10-year yield and the 3-month yield and the 20-year yield in the bond market start to decay with these rate cuts, you're going to see a lot of that money market fund money, liquidity, look for a better home. At the time of this recording, we already have new all-time highs for S&P 500 and NASDAQ on the intraday highs, that is. So we'll see how the daily charts close. But at the end of the day, stocks lead crypto. Crypto is a beta play to the stock market. Keep that in mind and don't forget. And the one we really want to outperform and make a new all-time high is the Russell 2000. It's kind of the linchpin at this point. Because if the Russell 2000 takes new all-time highs, that will all but ensure that not only Wall Street, but Main Street are taking on a risk-on appetite. And that's where euphoria and FOMO start to set in, and that's where you get your new all-time highs for your crypto. And as a warning, just understand that the escalator ride from optimism to euphoria is a very short one. It's violent, it's fun, but it doesn't last forever. Don't hold on for dear life. Have a profit taking strategy. Yet, have an entire crypto strategy. Don't just be someone who waits for years for 3 to 12 weeks of alt season to make money. Why don't you make money all the time in a bear market and in a bull market. Why don't you know when to get in and when to get out? That's why I use the crypto flywheel method. I can create yield or cash flow with 5 different tactics and skills that I've acquired. I can obviously build equity in the most lucrative part of the flywheel where I can 5, 10, 20x my money at particular seasons of time. And then I have an exit strategy that moves me into a position of leverage where I have more collateral on chain than I've ever had that I can use to parlay into more cash flow and repeat the process, methodically growing my net worth over and over again. Still listening to this video and you don't have your own crypto flywheel method in place, give me a number 1 in the comments. And if you want to work with me privately on how you can have the crypto skills that have changed my life and many, many others, go to cryptoyall.com. You can learn how to build wealth without becoming a day trader and click the big orange button and you'll watch the video. It's a 12-minute overview video that explains everything. And if you like what you see in that video, you can have the opportunity to follow the instructions and schedule a one-on-one video call with me. Big week ahead. Like and follow for more.